All right, it looks like I'm live, and I'm just gonna get out here and hi, my name is Rick Gomez, and I live out here in El Paso, Texas. It's a windy afternoon, and so it's one of those kind of afternoons you want to stay inside and do some of your work. So what I was gonna do today, because what I'm trying to do is to practice on my length of lives. Look to see who's out there. Look to see what kind of information I can share. I'm recording. This video is getting recorded, and so I wanted to just sort of kind of go through my material here. Welcome for anybody that comes out here. Again, I am Rick Gomez. I am living in El Paso, Texas. So I don't know about you guys, but not that I'm a hoarder, but I'm an idea generator and a printer, and I had to get on a subscription to print because I needed more paper. Okay, there's that. Anyway, so getting on here this is the first time in a long time, but I'm not afraid to come on here and talk about different things, especially when you have this much stuff. We all have this much stuff, and with the addition of ChatGPT, you should never run out of stuff to talk about, because there's always something that you can ask it, and it'll have you have a conversation to have you be, educate you. Hello, Big Daddy Squealer. Thanks for joining. Hello, Jenna Bean. How are you? Today, I'm just getting back out here, warmed up again, to get back in the groove, right? We follow shiny objects, we get off, we get on, and I want to make sure that I want to, first even learn how to use my TikTok Live Studio. One of the things that I want to talk about here is sort of kind of just general information this afternoon, was about, we all have something that we want to offer to the public. We want to get to the point where we're helping others. And so I want to go through my little notes here. So just to warm up the vocal cords, I don't know how much you use your ChatGPT or whichever chat you use. But last week we had an incident here in El Paso. I have a neighbor who has a turtle in a pond. And the turtle looked like it was about, it hadn't been maintained or hadn't been taken care of. So one of the things that I did for her was to ask ChatGPT to create a turtle first aid and shell care guide. And I don't know if you know anything about turtles, but when I saw it, it had some of the scaling on the back of his shell, or her, I don't even know what to hear her, was coming off. And again, it gets real hot and dry here, and if there's not enough water for it to be around, then it's not good to be in the dry. So anyway, I was going to again warm up my vocal cords, get the jitters out, and in case somebody ever needed some information on how to do emergency shell care for neglected turtles, here it is. 1, assess the turtle. Hello, Fernanda. Jenna, thank you for coming in. John Ferry, thank you for coming in. So assess the turtle. You're going to check the shell for cracks, flaking, soft spots, and foul smell. And then the behavior: is a turtle tired, not eating, floating oddly? This turtle was just not, it was there. It came up for food when we fed it. It stayed in its little cubby hole we had one of those, a brick that has little 4 holes in it, or 2 holes in it, and he would always go into that. And then I didn't see any signs of infection, any redness or pus or a bad odor. So it was just bad, just dry. He was dry at the time. Hello, John Ferry. Thanks for coming in. Steve-O, thank you. we're talking about emergency shell care for neglected turtles to warm up my vocal cords. So we talked about assessing the turtle, immediate first aid. Anybody knows about turtles? Put your comments in the chat. And then, yeah, so we removed the turtle from the pond and we put it in a dry, clean, warm container. And then, so it's in a dry place now to get on, to be on the mend. We then use warm water and a soft toothbrush. Now, I would have the turtle here, but he's not my turtle. So he's over there with my friend, one of my neighbors. And, but I had never known so much about turtles and taking care of turtles. I personally do not like turtles. I mean, I like turtles. Don't get me wrong. But we've never had one as a pet. So anyway, to clean the shell, use warm water and a soft toothbrush. Disinfect with diluted betadine. So it's povidone iodine or chlorhexidine. Rinse gently and pat dry. And then step number 4 is to disinfect and treat. Apply silver sulfadiazine cream or neosporin. No painkillers. There's no bandage needed. Air dry for 1 to 2 hours. Repeat 1 to 2 times daily. And there's a dry docking routine. Keep the turtle dry most of the day in a warm space. Soak in cream, dechlorinated water for 30 to 60 minutes daily. Hydration and feeding. And then long-term care essentials for this turtle. And thank you for everybody who's just joining. I'm trying to get my vocal cords warmed up so that we can have a good, long live. And I'll go into some of this other material here in just a minute. But right now, to warm up my vocal cords, we're talking about turtle care. And then long-term care essentials: clean, filtered water, basking area with a UV light and a heat lamp, balanced diet, the turtle pellets, the leafy green vegetables. Who else is here? Okay, and then do not use hydrogen peroxide. It damages tissues. Do not leave turtle in dirty or cold water. And don't ignore signs of infection or pain. And then make sure you have a reptile vet on call. So one of the things that I want to talk about this is that you can ask, if you're not using ChatGPT for, you can use it for everything. So I'm 65. I have a lot of friends who they don't appreciate the capacity of ChatGPT. ChatGPT makes my brain bigger, and so I like it because it helps me take a lot of my ideas and organize them. And so I don't know if you've ever just had a lot of ideas and you put them down and they don't, what's the word? They just don't gel, right? And so when I throw them in my ChatGPT, it grabs them and it organizes them and sort of kind of gives me a setting of how I want to work. But so anyway, that's turtle care. So we'll put that down as vocal cord warm up. We'll get a little bit of water here. I want to thank you guys for your support. You know, I'm learning how to do, hi Susie. So anyway, so I'm going to go through some of this material that I put together for, I'm in digital marketing. And some of the stuff that I've learned came from the courses I offer. And I knew that I knew stuff. I just didn't know that I didn't know this other stuff. And so there's always a reason to learn. There's always a reason to make yourself better. And of all the things I heard yesterday and today is you have to keep improving your skills. Skills is the key word. I can't see who that name is. Yeah, so anyway, so long story short, I'm a believer in skills. Skills help solve all your problems. Because you can, you know, if you need to fix a tire, you need mechanical skills or maintenance skills. If you want to put together a website, then you need, you know, those kind of skills. So skills are important. And one of the things that I had put together is, again, when I'm on ChatGPT, I prompt it as I'm watching something or I'm reading something. Heck, I even put in a YouTube movie that I was watching, and we gave it the link, and it gave me a scenario, a synopsis of the movie, plus also the lessons in that movie from YouTube. And I thought that was kind of cool because, again, there's lessons in everything that we do. And so a lot of people that are out here trying to, work a business online, and if you haven't tried doing it online, I've made money outside of this, but now I'm trying to get into it. I'm going to do it. So the first thing is always about mindset. I am going to be a digital creator. I am going to be doing these lives. I am going to be sharing information. I am going to be answering questions. I am going to be doing lives daily. Right now, I'm trying to just get my studio set up. This is on my desktop. I'm going to try to I'm going to do something for my phone, but hey, Really Dog, how you doing? And again, thanks for everybody who's here. I know that all these people that go on live, they go push all these buttons, and there's just too many buttons on the screen for me to even tell you which one to push. So just thank you for your support, and I appreciate you. So this piece of chunk of mail here, or this of ChatGPT printouts, came from my. Have you ever had a piece of mail that you had received a long time ago, and you still have it? I have had this. It's a sales letter, really, but it's in a book form, right? A booklet form, and it's called The Rich Man's Secret. And what captivated me the most was what this guy was writing. It spoke to me. It spoke to me, and so. And when I read it, I'm going like, man, I want to get this this material. And so a lot of this stuff, and this booklet came to me back in 1995, and I've had it with me this long. And so one of the things that I liked about this book is that it helped me expand my thinking about different things. And so what I did was I took a sentence out of this book and had ChatGPT sort of kind of run with it a little bit and sort of give me a document based on my knowledge, skills, and experiences over the past 40 years working in corporate and now being semi-retired. So anyway, just in this booklet there was the author had a revelation. He goes, I had the answer to overcome an obstacle they're all going to run into. If they were to succeed, they must jump this hurdle. And so that's sort of kind of where I'm at right now, is that there's a lot of people that are trying a lot of different things. And the answer is not in what they think they have to do. I'm a big believer now, everything that happens out here first starts in here. And so one of the things that I wanted to sort of kind of put together. Hello, Nicole. Thank you for joining. Anybody has any questions, let me know. Again, we're just talking about personal development, social media, turtles. We got a little bit of everything today. We're going to be going for about an hour and a half, 90 minutes. And so, anyway, so I talked about how I put this quote into ChatGPT. I had the answer to overcome an obstacle they all would run into. If they were to succeed, they must jump this hurdle. And it came back and told me that this is more than a personal insight. It's a universal breakthrough for any coach, consultant, or marketer. Then let's break it down into a usable framework for my own messaging and mentorship. Okay? So the first thing on this revelation framework, as it called it, was that there was an aha moment. Every once in a while, you're going to have an aha moment that it suddenly dawned on me. And then I realized, and all that, so, and I'm pretty sure, raise your hand if you've ever had those kind of moments that you said, oh, I get it now, I get it. So every breakthrough begins with awareness. And let's see, with awareness, this is when you realize you know something others need. So then you have your aha moment, you have clarity of value. I had the answer to overcome an obstacle that we'd all run into. And the translation of that is, my offer must directly solve a common, painful, inevitable hurdle your audience is guaranteed to face. This is the essence of value creation. So another, as I've been going through this journey, I know you can see my bookcase back there. That's part of my bookcases. One of the things that I had read was about that value is the only way to, to improve your lot in life. You have to have skills to be able to improve and to add value to others, and at the same time receive value back from them. Okay, so we're talking about the Revelation framework. We had the aha moment. It suddenly dawned on me. We had the clarity of value. I had something that other people are going to need, and the success prerequisite. If they were to succeed, they must jump this hurdle. Translation of all that was that I'm not just offering a tip. I'm offering the key to advancement. Without it, they fail. And so, and excuse me for just looking away and pausing, because I see all these little things pop up, and I'm just going like, well, what are they talking about? So I'm not, and I don't know that if I'm missing anything or not, but I'm just going to talk, because at the end of the day, I want this to be a recording that I can put into my Opus Clips and create some more clips that I can get out to others. So the formula that, and I'm talking about ChatGPT helping me, and it can help you to organize, create, build something that maybe you've had a roadblock in your thinking about, because ChatGPT helps you organize all those thoughts. And so the messaging formula that ChatGPT and the conversations we've had and how it knows how I like to write, talk, and think is, my messaging formula is, I realized that I got network marketers, I got people that are full-time corporate employees that want to do something on the side, is trying to achieve an outcome. They're all trying to learn a new skill, learn a new software, make money online. I had a friend just the other day ask me, are you still doing the insurance thing? Are you doing this other stuff? And I said, really, I'm trying to shift over into digital marketing. And I'm not even trying, I've already done it. One of the things that I was working on is it's one thing to answer a question and tell somebody about something, but it's another thing for them to do it. Because not only did she ask me about how to do these online things or start a business, because she was tired of the corporate job that she's in. She just turned 50, and she asked me about stuff that I'm doing, and I sent her a couple of videos to watch, simple, but they were about an hour each. And the very first thing that's going to happen is that if you get a video, if somebody tells you, at the end of the day, it's a test. I'm testing her. How committed is she to moving from her current state to her future state? How committed is she to make that future state where she's making money from home, online, 24/7, and not complaining about having that job? So, again, going back to my funnel, or the messaging formula, is that I realize there's a lot of adults that want to try to do something, but they don't do it. Hey, Tommy242, thanks for joining. Any questions, let me know. So anyway, so we're talking about personal development and the hurdles that people have to cross to get ahead. I realize that every person, my current market is, I was a 40-year corporate employee, and I had started transitioning over to side gigs. I've done Uber, I've done substitute teaching, I've done, what else have I done? Pretty much those are two big ones. And I realized that there's people doing, and network marketing. So I've done my network marketing and been successful in all three because, I showed up, I did the work, I learned the business, or learned that process. And if you don't overcome this one obstacle, they're going to stay stuck. The good news, I built a tool to help them jump that hurdle. And then one of the things I realized that every full-time employee trying to build a side income hits the same wall. They don't have a system to get consistent leads. Without that, they burn out and quit. That's why I created a daily automated system that sorts and qualifies people for them so they can win while working full-time. So with that in mind, I have a system. I have a system that works for me in the mornings before I even wake up. It sends out birthday messages to my Facebook friends. It engages with people that are on my feed, and all I do the rest of the day is talk to them. It did the very first part of the conversation, which is touch somebody. And so, anyway, so then, and then now going back to ChatGPT, using these tools, you can have it'll ask you, and they'd ask me, so I'm going to say, hey, so it says, Rick, you want me to create a script for Flickr or the short form video software I use? Or do you want a Canva carousel? Or for Facebook and Instagram? Or do you want to turn this intro paragraph into a sales page? Again, I don't have to do it, it does it. But where you come in is you have to tell it and have to know what to tell it to do. And so, I guess what I'm trying to say, because when I make these videos, I'm thinking of people my age or younger, because I've been where they are. My brother, bless his soul, he's a good guy, and he stopped. I think he stopped learning. I mean, he learns new things all the time, but to put in this extra stuff to go forward, I don't know if he's ready for that yet. My friend who I just finished telling that, yeah, she could make money outside of the corporate environment while she was working. Again, if you can't watch a 1 hour video on a weekend and during the weekend, you have to, and again, I understand life gets in the way, but so I texted her, I go, what are you doing? Washing dishes and cleaning up. So what would you rather do? Learn how to make money online or wash dishes and clean up? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know. That's where the first time when you have that revelation that people put other things above the goal that they wanted, which is to make extra money, make their lives better, put their kids in sports programs, travel more, whatever. But cleaning and washing dishes take the cake. They go do that. And so, we teach a method where you learn how to do everything in about 2 hours a day. Who couldn't do some of this stuff 2 hours a day? I don't know anybody that doesn't. If you can't prioritize to do this, heck, even me, getting back onto doing lives, I'm a FB kind of guy. I've been over there for years and years and years, and all this over here is sort of kind of newer. And one of the things that you realize is that you have to sometimes let go of other things, because something new is right here at my door, and I've been neglecting it because, oh no, I got my FB over here, so I never. It's not. I have to change. I have to get out of my comfort zone, come into here, do a live, read some of the stuff that I've been generating over here, which is good stuff. I mean, for me, I know it's good stuff for me, and I know that anybody that's 64 and below, it's good stuff for you too, because I've been where you're at. You're gonna get frustrated. You have a job, which is fine, but sooner or later you're gonna say, I don't want this job. I want to do something different, and you don't know what to do and where to do it. So, I'm here to help. We've come up with a couple of different things, ChatGPT and I, and I'm a freedom architect, because right now you don't have the skills to know what to think, how to design a new system. And so one of the things that I wanted to help others is to go through this and say, hey, look, there's ways for you to make money, but it's all in your imagination. If you can't get past your imagination and I can't do it, it's not working for me, there's just a lot of things that go on in here first and stop you from being out here. And so, one of the things, and again, I spend money every month on different tools. So that is my investment, because I can't get better unless I go learn tools. And so, and again, I try to help people get past the non-starting. I'm a fast start. I jump in, I read a book, I do something. Right now I'm learning about TikTok Shop and doing lives. And so I want to be one of those stories that next year, around this time, I'll be doing a video about it. It's been 1 year since I started going live on TikTok. Again, your mindset always goes to those videos where there's some funny guys out there. I'm telling you, there's a lot of funny guys out there. And there's a lot of things on TikTok, so it's a big distraction sometimes when you want to stay focused. One of the things that I would share to others is that you have the ability to make as many videos as you want. This is like having my own private TV station. And I can say, hello, Jenna, or Gina, and anybody who wants to do and start a business has all these tools, and they're free. For the most part, you can do everything here for free and on your phone. And so right now, what I'm going through here is just some ideas. I'm getting back into my live mindset about doing live and going live. And I'm sharing with you about using ChatGPT to help generate ideas, or not even generate ideas. That can generate ideas. You can organize your ideas so that all you have to do is print them and just go down the list, right? So, so right now we're talking about some material that I had put into ChatGPT based on this sales letter book that I had gotten back in 1995. And so one of the things that it talked about, we have to think in a new way. You can't be thinking in your 65-year-old way. You got to be in your 18-year-old way, your 20-year-old way. You got to think in a new way. It says here, you must learn to think in a new way. You must notice what you say to yourself. You don't know what you're all about, but you must know what you're all about. It's a form of metacognition, it says here, blended with self-concept awareness. And so this thinking is, my ex-wife used to say, you think a lot. And I go, yeah, you're right, I do. And for whatever reason, I don't know if I was born under the thinking star or whatever, but I like to know what's going on, try to find out what, I'm losing my hairs, gray hairs. And you have to know what you're thinking about all the time. And one of the things that I have a hard time connecting with some friends and stuff is because they're thinking all kinds of old-fashioned thinking. It's a whole new world today than it was back in the day. And my brother and I talk about this all the time. Well, it's not that way anymore. And so you have to learn how to change. And so so we're talking about the thinking in a new way. And then so my ChatGPT helped me organize some of this material. It was about what kind of thinking are they talking about? And the first part is called metacognition thinking, thinking about your thinking. So, people, when you do everything on automatic pilot, then that means that you don't have a way to stop yourself from doing something that you don't want to do. Hey, Gangsta Boy, user 945, that big old long number, get a name so it'd be easier to call out to you. You have to be able to learn how to not listen to what your brain's telling you, because I know I have my friend, and I got to get my brother. Their minds are always working. All our minds are always working, 100 miles an hour. But you have to learn how to tell your mind, whoa, slow down, sit down, stop, and do this. Get online, get on. Do the thing that you want to do. A very important lesson was, I was reminded of it this weekend. And I'm a liar. It happens all the time. If you do what's easy, life will be hard. But if you do what's hard, life will be easy. And I go back in my life, I've always done the hard thing. I've always asked for the harder projects. I always wanted to learn the new softwares. I wanted to learn the new technology. I wanted to, go to different places where a lot of my coworkers and my friends, they would never leave home. They just wanted to stay there. to me in my life, I've always had the best opportunities have always come with change. So change, if something happens, I appreciate it. I just, again, I give thanks in all things, good or bad, because they all come up with something. And again, a lot of people are popping up here. Thank you for joining and being with me today. Again, it's my first live in a little bit, so there's a lot of buttons up there you can push. There's too many for me to know. Just push, 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 push. And then, hey, Shop Boy Pet 69, thanks for stopping by. And again, I'm not going to pay attention to this because I want to record all this stuff over here. So anyway, so you got to think in a new way. What kind of thinking is this? Metacognitive thinking, thinking about your thinking. This line urges us to notice the inner dialogue that often unconscious scripts that shape what we see, how we see ourselves and act in the world. You must notice what you say to yourself. This is a gateway to self-awareness. Until you observe your thoughts, they run you. So if you don't keep your eye on your thoughts in here, they're the ones that are making you make bad decisions or bad choices or not take action. You have to have a self-image realignment. You don't know what you're all about. This challenges the reader's identity. We often operate based on inherited or outdated beliefs about who we are. But you must know what you're all about. This is a call to conscious identity creation, to redefine your self-image based on awareness and truth and not programming. And transformational thinking. This is not casual thinking, it's inner rewiring. This quote demands that you think in a way that interrupts old patterns and gives birth to a new version of you. You can call this an identity upgrade thinking. So I call this self-ice. You have to take a look at your self-image, your self-confidence, and your self-esteem. Where are those three? Because all those are developed inside yourself about how you feel about those things. Who do you see yourself as? Do you see yourself as a leader, a teacher, an encourager? Who are you? How do you want the world to see you? And that's self-image. And in my mind, a long time ago, I had put in, hey, Just Straight Fork, thanks for jumping in. I had always wanted to be a man of influence. I wanted to help people because I love to read. Again, my bookcase is back there. And there's a lot of people that'll never pick up a book. They'll never learn how to read. They know how to read, but they don't read to better themselves. And so I want to be able to influence others with some of the things that I've come to find out as being true and that worked for me, that helped me go from deep South Texas to Houston to work at a major company and then to travel from there around the world. And so now I'm back here giving back. That's what I want to do. I'm giving back. I don't do it for the money because I'll take the money, but I won't do it. I don't do it for the money. I want to share what I learned. At the end of the day, all this stuff that I'm going to be putting out on YouTube and we have it on Facebook, all that's going to be part of my legacy. And maybe one day, somebody will come across this live or this clips of all these videos, and it'll point them in a direction that they say, I needed this right now at this time. And so they'll go down that path and they'll go searching. The person who wants the answers is a seeker, and they'll keep seeking. Hey, Vagabond. Oh, thank you, David. Hello, Dwayne Wand? Dwayne and somebody. Thanks for joining. And so one of the things, again, is on your journey, and we're all on it, you have to see yourself on your journey, but who are you going to be in this journey? What's your self-image look like inside your head? What's your self-esteem feel like inside you? And what's your self-confidence tell you about? Because, again, if you don't try things, that sort of kind of tells me about your self-confidence or even your self-esteem, because that means that you don't care enough about your family, yourself, to improve yourself. So we always got to work on self-ice, image, confidence, and esteem. Because again, we all spend money on these courses, books, tapes, all that kind of stuff. But if we never take action on them, then we're not getting the value from those books and that knowledge. Those knowledge, the skills. You know, if the first thing that you say is, "Oh, they're just trying to sell me something," you're right. We're trying to sell you a shortcut so that you don't have to go through all the stuff that we had to go through. And that's value. I give you value, you give me value. That's the way it works. And so one of these days you'll say, "Oh man, I met this guy named Rick online, and he had this thing about thinking." And so he talked to me about thinking. And that changed my world. And I'm hoping that, not I'm hoping, I'm knowing that people that I have run across, and this TikTok environment is going to give me the opportunity to reach a lot of people. And again, I don't know who's watching, I don't know why, but I know that putting this message out today is a, what do you want to call it? It's a level of skill for me that I have to go into. See, everybody is at a level that they're stuck on. But for you to advance your level, you got to move up to another level. And so one of the things that, and I've realized that my problem is consistency. And I think a lot of people here have consistency problems. I do substitute teaching in my retirement time. And I'm on a long-term assignment for the next 30 days. I'm in a class. And so the deal there is I got to be there at 8 o'clock. And so to me, I have to figure out how am I going to do my live, how am I going to do my videos. I already have interaction on the software with some software automation, and so now I want to get consistent and putting stuff out for you guys. And you probably say, "Well, who are you? Why are you giving advice and stuff?" I am 65 years old. I came from, I was born to a family of 8th grade graduates back in the day. I wanted to do something better and different, and I ended up having to leave South Texas. I got a 2-year degree from a technical school. That technical school gave me an opportunity to go to Houston. In Houston, I went and finished up my degree and got more education. And degrees they help you move up the ladder just because it's a checkbox. Do you have a degree? Yes, check, and then you can apply for other positions. But once I was there, I still had to use my smarts and intelligence. And hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. Jersey, Vagabond, David, and so what I'm trying to do here is to help others figure out how do you go from one level to the next level after you've been at a level for a long time. And the very first thing is, you're going to feel that it's uncomfortable to move to that next level, but that's okay because that's where growth happens, right? And so we're talking about the thinking that we do, and we've talked about metacognitive thinking, self-image realignment, and transformational thinking, okay? And then again, so we're talking about identity upgrade thinking. We got to upgrade our thinking about ourselves because that's where it all starts. The 3 shifts for powerful thinkers is they observe their inner voice. What are you saying? Have you ever heard yourself talk? Have you ever heard yourself talking to yourself? I know it's kind of weird, but we do it all the time. And it could be about a lot of different things. It could be about your relationships. It could be about your job. It could be about your car. It could be about, do I need new tires? What am I going to do? What am I going to wear? Do I have enough clothes for wash? Do I need to wash? And all that stuff is going automatically in your head. You need to stop. Think. Observe those thoughts. Keep the ones that you want to keep, and then proceed on towards your goal or towards what you want to get done, because you always have a choice to do things. You can watch a video if somebody shares a video with you, or you can do laundry, or you can do, wash dishes and clean the house. We always have choices. So think about what is keeping you, or what thought, it's not even you, it's what thought is creating a feeling that's making you not watch a video that somebody sent you, or that you follow up with something that you saw. It doesn't cost anything to follow up on something that you saw that made you feel like, oh, that looks pretty interesting. Oh, I think I'll take a look at that. And ask questions. There's a lot of distrust right now in the world. And so, but the only way to trust is to communicate. When I work with the kids, I'm in a border town, and so there's a lot of Spanish speakers and English speakers. And so the English speakers are uncomfortable speaking Spanish. The Spanish speakers are uncomfortable speaking English. But somehow they do it, they make it, because they learn to understand each other. As long as they get their meaning across, they've communicated. And that's the same thing with me and you, is as long as I understand what you're thinking about and want, I can share my perspective on it. Hey, Mike Dennis, thanks for joining. And so we're talking about thinking. We're talking about mindset shifts. We're talking about just our thinking, and then we also talking about questioning your old identities, who you used to be. Your age today is not the same person that you were when you were 18, unless you're an 18-year-old watching this video or watching this live. But all that stuff is gone. It's over. I was reading a book that talked about that every year when we have all these things like Christmas and Easter and all these things, all that is a time for us to be at another level of our life. Where are you? Are you in the same, mindset, thinking, experience? One of my ahas that I had is that, you create your life. Never in my life did I ever think that I would be going to travel to other countries. Never did I think that I was going to go to India, Hawaii, England, Norway. And so all those things, and into Mexico too, Mexico City, Querétaro, all those places that are, that once were just in here, I've been there, done that. And so now, and so you step back to think, hey Brad, thanks for joining. Mike, you still out there? We talk about how your mindset works. Today in El Paso, it is a dusty day. In springtime, we have dust storms, but they come for like 6 hours. So once the warning comes out, it's time to get inside and do other work. And so anyway, the whole point is, what's your thinking telling you to do right now? Are you learning something new? Are you just, goofing off on TikTok? A lot of people, and I was one of them, I don't want to do dancing. I can't even dance, all that kind of stuff. But now I found another group of people that says, no, you can use this platform to do a business. Back when I first started, I'll call it digital marketing or getting online, the majority of it was on YouTube. It was making YouTube videos. And back then they also had that thing called MySpace, way old, MySpace. But at the end of the day, it's those people are the ones that took being on a platform like this and just interacting with people to, how can I leverage it? How can I use it to make some income? How can I use it to better my life? And everybody's seeing the transformation that TikTok is having on everybody, every country, every nation. TikTok is having an impact, good or bad. Think what you may. Hey, Big Papa, thanks for joining. One of the things that you can't avoid is technology. All right, and so change has always been a part of my life. I always call myself a baby of change. I was born in 1960, but that was a time when a lot of things were happening, right? And if you go in the 60s and the 70s, the man on the moon, the first phone, the cell phone. What else is going on? New vehicles. We had the fuel crisis when there was no, there wasn't a lot of energy, but they found out how to make gasoline go farther. They figured out how to make engines, that can go farther. It's always been in the imagination. It's always been in how can I solve a problem. And again, I don't know who this is going to touch. I don't know who this is going to impact. But I'll tell you this. If you have a feeling about something, that's the very first signal that you should be doing something different. And if you're not taking action on that feeling of whatever that is, you could be solving, cure for a common cold. You could be solving toenail problems. You could be solving heart problems. Hey, Jay Geezy, say hi. And then thanks for joining. You have to take action on what you feel. In one of my careers after my 30-year career in corporate, I went to go work in the funeral business. Now, everybody, hey, Wicked Clown, and again, Jay Geezy. Thanks for coming in. Working at a cemetery, it's kind of a weird thing, but you see a lot of headstones at a cemetery. And you often wonder, or I wondered, did they do everything that they wanted to do? That's why they call that cemetery the richest land in any place, in any city, is because it has a lot of unmet dreams and goals. And so if you don't want your dream to die with you, you have to take action on it. And there's no better time to take action now because there's so much change going on in the world that you need to be a part of that change. And part of that change, and again, it hit me yesterday, it's about skills. The only difference between you and me is I am eager to learn new skills. I change different things. I've done all kinds of things. I've cut grass. I've short order cooked. I've driven, Uber. I substitute taught. I did accounting. I've done everything. Well, not everything. I haven't done surgeries or anything like that. But if I needed to, I could. I think I have confidence in myself that, if I could read it and hear it and listen to it, I could do it. And so I appreciate all those hearts. Thank you. And I hope that you're getting something out of this. But anyway, so the whole point is that you're never too old to start. You're never too old to break a habit. But it has to come from you first. If you keep feeling that you're not, that something's not right. I want to tell you the one thing that got me the most at the beginning when I first started my personal development journey. I didn't feel worthy. That's the very first part that I had to realize. But I am worthy, and you are worthy. All right? You are worthy of everything that is on this planet. God gave us all that stuff out here so that we could use. And if you're not using it, if you're not using books, if you're not going, and these are full price books. I bought them at the store, right? But you could back in the day they had half price books. I don't even know if they're still in business, but now you can record. You can read everything online. There's no reason that you can't better your understanding of things because it's all there. In my case, you have to become a seeker. Seek and you shall find. All the answers are in the Bible, just so you know, but people don't get them until it hits them. And everybody goes through this process of learning and growing, and they talk about the 40 days in the wilderness. Well, that's in your mind. You're in the wilderness in here. You just don't know. And so, hey, Wicked Clown, thanks for all the support. I appreciate you. And but again, going back to the part about it's up to you. I keep giving my friends and my family the hooks, but they don't bite. I don't know, and so I can't do nothing but put out the hooks and put out the seeds. But it's up to them to see what seed I'm giving them. And so I can't help anybody unless I know what their issue is, because I've had a lot of problems. I've been divorced once, and only once, but I have one daughter, so I can tell you a bit about fatherhood. I can tell you about that. I can tell you about corporate America. I can tell you about getting your degrees later on in life. I can tell you about, I didn't get bankruptcy, but I hit rock bottom. I can tell you about feeling lonely. I can tell you about, death of a parent. I can tell you about helping out other people whose parents are aged and caring about that. Hi, Krista. Thanks for joining. So there's a lot of life experiences that all of you have, and with the help of ChatGPT and technology, you can create a thick booklet, not a booklet, it's like a printout of things that you want to share and talk to others about. So anyway, so we're talking about thinking. We're talking about how to upgrade your thinking, because again, the thinking that you were using back in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and just go back to 10 years, it's not the same thing that you use today, because today the environment's all different. You have to change, you have to catch up to the times, you have to get the most recent knowledge. I always tell the kids that you want to get the information from somebody who's done that work or knows how to do that work, because if somebody is trying to share information but they've never done any of that kind of work, then they're not going to know how to handle the roadblocks. They're not going to know how to handle rejection. They don't know how to handle the system going down. They don't know how to handle somebody yelling at you, somebody calling you a name. That's when you get on here, people will start being ugly. And I always tell my customers and my clients and or my friends, first off, don't put up with it. You're an adult. I'm an adult. Nobody can treat you the way you don't want to be treated. And so you can block. You can put a stop to all that. And I know there's certain words that they don't want us to use on these lives and stuff, and I have to learn all that stuff. But at the end of the day, don't put up with anything from anybody. You deserve better. You are worthy. There's, like they say, a billion people on TikTok. Somebody is going to connect with you. I'm looking for corporate people that are working corporate jobs, that are looking to do a part-time deal, that I can share my experience, knowledge, and skills and experience. I'm technically, for a 65-year-old, technically savvy, not savvy, but what do we call it? What's that word? I know technology. I know when people are blowing smoke. I know when, I know what's a good opportunity. I'm always about knowing the environment, what's going on in the world at this point, and how you're going to benefit from it. But a lot of it's going to be from your skills. So let's see what's on this next page. So the 3 shifts for powerful thinkers are: 1, they observe their inner voice, they question old identities, and they choose a new self-concept that's aligned with their vision. So again, so the part that I'm talking about here is that it all starts with you. It all starts with what you're thinking. It all starts with, how does your self-image, your self-confidence, and your self-esteem, where do they rank? A scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the max of self-image, self-esteem, self-confidence. Can you improve on any of those? And if you're at 4s and 5s and you're not at the 10 level, then you need to figure out, how do I get to a 10 level on your self-image, your self-confidence, and self-esteem. And again, I'm not telling you anything new. In the Bible it says, there is nothing new under the sun. And so when you first think of something, it's already happened to somebody else. It happened to me. It happened to your relatives. It's already happened. So there's nothing new under the sun. And with that concept in mind, and what's so funny about this stuff is that the other aha, we don't know. I don't know anything about whoever's watching. I don't know when when you're going to decide to take action. I don't know. All I know is that what I'm doing, I take action. And I position myself to be able to offer you value. If you say you have a problem, I say, well, I have a solution. But I can't give you the solution until I know what your problem is. And so a lot of times, again, I want to work with people that are at that cross. So I explain stuff to my students also about if you draw the line of a pyramid, there's a base. I said we always all start at the base, and then through our lives we're going up and crawling up this this pyramid level of all these different steps. A lot of people choose to stay on the bottom; they don't ever move. But then some people move up a little bit and they make it to the next level, and then some of those people make it up a little bit to the next level, and some of those people keep going and they move up to the next level. And so you have to know where you're at, and do you want to move up to the next level. Hey, Lovey, Krista, again, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you. My first goal of this live was to go for an hour. We're here close to 56 minutes. And I do want to keep talking, but I just want to, I wanted to sort of kind of get it all out there, right? So for people who are having problems thinking about how do I make that next step, there's a link on in my bio. Go in there and let's start a conversation that we can help each other. And but you have to start. And you know, people say, hey, well, that costs a lot of money. And I go, well, all those books cost money. All my experiences cost money. All my divorces cost, well, I only had one divorce. One divorce cost me a lot of money. Child support, that I paid dearly, cost me a lot of money. Losing a job that costs money. So everything is going to cost money. But because there's money and time, and you just got to learn how to take the skills so that you can do something different about and for your life. But yeah, I didn't know where this thing was going to go today. I had gotten up from a nap because we were at a birthday party yesterday that wore me out, and then I was on a field trip on Friday, and so that wore me out. But at the end of the day, this is where I wanted to be today, because I want to do this every day for 1 hour a day. I got to work myself and work the schedule up. And I don't even know if I can break it up for an hour in the morning, an hour in the afternoon, because every day something is happening, and every day that you have a chance to report about what you're going to do, and you can report back what happened and what you're going to be doing different. And one of the concepts that in one of my careers that I was doing, they had a call to the board meeting in the mornings. And the call to the board just sort of kind of was like, okay, good morning, everybody's here. This is what's going on today in the cemetery. These are the services coming in. These are other funeral homes coming in. And so we talked about who's going to be manning the phones, who's going to be doing other things out in the cemetery. And so I want this to be sort of kind of call to the board in the morning. What are you going to be doing for the day that's going to help improve your life? And then at the end of the day, I want to have a recap of, what did we do? What did I do? What did my systems do? How many people that we touch, talk to? Because it's always about the same. You're looking for people who have a problem that you can solve. And it's as simple as that. And so you may think, oh, that's too simple, Rick. I go, it is. But because my thick skull and my thinking, and I always talk about, these are reading glasses, but everybody has a lot of mud in front of their face right now. There's a lot of stuff people don't see. And slowly and surely, they keep listening to things and hearing things and watching videos and talking to people and learning, and then all of a sudden that mud starts sort of kind of falling away from your eyes, and all of a sudden I can see, you know, and that's where in the Bible it says the blind can see. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world that is, again, people are blind because they don't know any better. But the more you get knowledge and experiences and make your own judgments and follow the truth, look for the truth, like they say, the truth sets you free. And you can't tell what the truth is because you have all this mud in front of your eyes. But once the mud goes away, you can see the truth. But anyway, we hit the 1 hour mark. I appreciate everybody who joined on and came out. Hopefully you got something of value out of this. Look for another live tomorrow. Or who knows? I might even come back on tonight. I feel like Greg Gutfeld now. Yeah, I'll come back on and do my own show again. Anyway, yeah, because I got this big old thick packet of info that I want to go through, plus all this other stuff we can go through, because I want us to be on a journey together. I want us to be, you know, I'm learning and doing. I've done, so I've already done. Now we're learning and doing new things. I want everybody to not be afraid. Let's, you know, like they say in our industry, you know, let's lock arms and walk together. And we have a community. I have lots of communities. That's the other part. You're never going to be alone because we have communities already set up. And so you don't have to wait on me to say, you know, hey Rick, do you know anybody? I know a lot of people, and there's a lot of people out here that can help us. And so let's get together to make your future better. That's it. Anyway, thanks for hanging around. And if you have any questions, look me up, leave me a message, and we'll go from there. And then, how do you turn this thing off? All right. Good night, everybody. Talk to you later.